Assisted Lab, Auditing Network Services. Scenario: the sophistication of modern cyber threats mean that no organization can afford to treat security as secondary to functionality. Network designs and server roles must be designed with security as a primary requirement from the outset. To complete this activity, assess the topology of the local network and the services that are running on it, and then use a firewall to remediate a security violation. Objectives: this activity is designed to test your understanding of and ability to apply content examples in the following CompTIA server plus objective. 2.2 Given a scenario, configure servers to use network infrastructure services. 0% tasks complete. Next, scan network. Scan network. The MAP network scanner is very widely used to perform network scanning. The tool can report the IP addresses of hosts that respond to its probes and identify which network ports are open on those hosts. It can also identify OS and application type and version information through close analysis of these port scans. Scan the local network to discover hosts and the network ports that are open for connections. Select the PC10 VM. Send Ctrl+Alt+Delete and sign in as Jamie with password $$W0RD. From the desktop, open the Map, ZenMap GUI icon. In the target box, type 10.1.24.0/24. From the profile box, select Quick Traceroute. Select the Scan button. In the target box, type 10.1.16.0/24. With Quick Traceroute still selected, select the Scan button. When both scans are complete, maximize the window and select the Topology tab. This shows which hosts have been discovered. Select the Controls button. In the Controls panel, from the View box, uncheck Hostname so that only IP addresses are shown. Adjust the ring gap up to around 50 and then increase the zoom value until you can read the diagram clearly. The address in the middle is the default loopback address of the PC10 machine performing the scan. One host is connected to the loopback address by a dotted line. Record the IP address of this host. The IP address is PC10's address. The address is 10.1.16.1, 10.1.16.2, 10.1.16.11, and 10.1.16.12 are all one circle, or one hop, away from PC10. To contact these IP addresses, all the packets go through the 10.1.24.254 host. Examine the network schematic below and compare it to MAP's topology diagram. Router.a.b underscore 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 10.1.16.0/24 10.1.24.0/24 at DC10.1 PC10.101 MS10.2 SMB10.11 LAMP10.12. What is the IP address of A? Write your answer in dotted decimal notation W.X.Y.Z. What is the IP address of B? Write your answer in dotted decimal notation W.X.Y.Z. These IP addresses are located on the same host. It is a router and has two network interfaces. Without the router, the hosts in each subnet are in isolated segments and unable to communicate. The router can also be described as the default gateway for hosts to send packets to networks other than their local subnet. Select the Ports/Hosts tab. Note that no port scan has been performed. With the target box still set to 10.1.16.0/24, from the profile box, select Quick Scan. Select the Scan button. When the scan is complete, from the Hosts list pane, select each host in turn to identify which ports are open. Which host is running an email server? 0% tasks complete. Previous next, configure firewall. Configure firewall. Let's imagine that this scanning activity wasn't being completed as an authorized audit, but had come from an unknown source and was considered a threat to the network. Select the RLAN 10 VM. Log in with the username BIOS and password $$W0RD. Enter CONF to put the router into configuration mode. You cannot use type text with this VM. You can use tab completion and arrow up to reuse and edit previous commands. If it is not registering keystrokes, ensure the cursor is clicked into the VM window. Run the following commands to define a firewall policy. Shell. Set firewall name IPv4 policy violation description blocklist suspect hosts set firewall name IPv4 policy violation default action accept. Run the following commands to define a rule that will match a specific criterion, the 10.1.24.101 address of PC10, and drop those packets. Shell. Set firewall name IPv4 policy violation rule 1 action drop set firewall name IPv4 policy violation rule 1 source address 10.1.24.101. Run the following command to apply the new policy to the interface in the 10.1.24.0/24 subnet F2. Shell. Set interface Ethernet F2 firewall in name IPv4 policy violation. Note that when configuring a firewall on a router, you need to understand how rules are applied. In matches traffic that arrives on the interface that would be forwarded to another interface. Out matches traffic that has arrived on another of the router's interfaces and would be forwarded out of this interface. Local matches traffic that was addressed to the router interface and was not due to be forwarded anywhere else. Run the following commands to commit the changes and save them to the running configuration. Shell. Commit save exit. Switch back to PC10. In ZenMap, select the Scans tab. Select each scan and then select Remove Scan. In the target box, type 10.1.16.1. From the profile box, select Intense Scan. Select the Scan button. No results will be returned. Select the Score button to validate this task. We haven't actually blocked the host completely, because it could still connect using IPv6. Also, the attacker could change the IP address to avoid the block rule. Other security tools, such as intrusion detection, are often necessary to protect networks more fully. 60% tasks complete. Previous next, Review Lab. Review lab. Answer the following comprehensive questions to ensure that you recognize the importance of the activity steps and the uses for the information you have learned. Which network infrastructure or security service was not configured in this lab? Firewall. Port scanning. RFC 1918 address space. Segmentation. Virtual LAN. Which specific command facilitates the identification of the network topology in terms of routing hops? Traceroute. Ping. ZenMap. IMAP. Map. Which host was configured as the default gateway of the other hosts? MS10. PC10. DC10. MAP. SMB10. RLAN 10. What type of firewall was configured on RLAN 10? Network-based firewall. Host-based firewall. 100% tasks complete. Previous next, grade lab. Grade lab. That concludes this lab. Please ensure you end it properly rather than just closing the browser window. Once you select Submit, you will not be able to return to this lab instance. If you want to repeat the lab, you can launch a new instance from your lab portal. Check all the step boxes above to mark all tasks as complete and make sure you have submitted responses to all the activities. Select Submit below to grade the lab. 100% tasks complete. Previous submit.